Everything else seems pretty standard for a dating app. So again, my prediction is it will be probably like 90% plus men signing up. And then for most men, the women that they're trying to match with will be really far away and they will just think this app is pointless. And then in a couple years, like multiple other dating apps for conservatives, this company will just go under and the app will not be available anymore. So hello everyone from the Kingdom of Cambodia once again, and I was pretty much proven right by my prediction that the Right Stuff, the new Peter Thiel funded conservative dating app, is doing very poorly and has got a majority male user base. But today we're going to do a sequel to the video I made in August about this, because when I made my first video, the app hadn't actually came out. It was just for advertisements, and we were talking generally about conservative dating apps and stuff like that. But this video, what we're going to do is look at some of the follow-up advertisements and then look at some of the stuff surrounding the launch of the app and the stuff it asks you. Because some of the questions it asks you when you sign up are very, very weird. And then I just want to generally look back at the history of conservative dating apps and talk about why do conservative dating apps always fail. And then thankfully in my last video I asked you guys, like, what is, I guess, the most different political ideology you would date yourselves? And thankfully actually a lot of people told me the stories of them as leftists actually dating conservatives and what a disaster that is. So stick around until the end, because if you left a comment like that, I might read it out. I've got a few, and that's just fun to really get into why it's such a terrible idea as a left-wing person to date conservative people and how their politics aren't really as important to them when it comes to dating as it is to us fellow leftists. So this video is just a bit more of a fun one. We're going to look at some more Right Stuff advertisements, just talk about how stupid they are before getting to the overall point. So before we get any further, please like the video, and in the comments, I guess for today's question, I already asked, like, what's the most different, I guess, political ideology that, like, you would date. But I guess following on for some of the comments left in my last video about this stuff, is there anyone else out there that has tried to date someone from like a radically different political background, and how much did that, you know, not, or how much did it impact your actual relationship? I would be quite curious, since a fair few people left me comments like that in my last video. Also, consider becoming a patron. I'm trying to build up as many $1 to $3 patrons as possible. And the benefits of being a patron, again, access to the Discord server and getting my Nintendo Switch friend code. Also, I'm going to be posting one video per country I travel to. Going to record the Vietnam one this weekend, and then the Cambodia one at the end of my stay in Cambodia. So if you care about any of that stuff, that's going to be exclusive content for patrons. Also, check me out on social media at the Kavernacle on Twitter and on Instagram. Instagram is where I'm posting mostly about my travels around Asia, and that is all, you know, in my Instagram highlights on my actual profile. If you care about any of that, I've made a couple posts about it as well. Also, check out the subreddit and also check out the second channel. All of that stuff down in the description. So you guys probably do not need a refresher on what the Right Stuff is. I'm not going to talk about it in like lots of detail, but let's just play the first trailer that came out, the advertisement. I'm not going to play it all for you. I just want to run through the key points before we move on to a new advertisement they released when the app was actually launched, which is really, really funny. And we're going to talk about both of them. So here is the original advert that everyone saw going really viral about this new conservative dating app.
What I love most about it is that it's invite only, so not just anyone can join. First of all, it's free to use. And for my ladies, you'll never have to pay because we all get premium subscriptions for simply inviting a couple friends. Gentlemen, if you want access to premium, that's on you. And by the way, those are the only two options, ladies and gentlemen. Start off by building your perfect profile. No pronouns necessary. So if you're a young conservative looking to amp up your dating life, go to joinrightstuff.com to gain early access. We need to get back to the right way of dating.
Like I said in the video before, I do love how women get like free access to the app or free access to premium, and men men have to pay because, yeah, inherently they did know most people signing up to this app will be like more desperate conservative men. But yeah, just saying stuff about pronouns like dog whistling, about conservative beliefs. It just sounds like another stupid dating app. But, you know, we've analyzed that in my other video. But I've been seeing this one go a bit viral as well. This came out 3 weeks ago. And it was basically like launched with the app. So I want to go through this one a bit more because it's pretty funny. And it's called What Women Want.
Today, we brought in a group of conservative young women and wanted to get their honest opinions about what they're looking for in the guys they date. What are you looking for in a partner?
They just have to be a conservative.
Definitely someone that wants to have kids.
I like an independent man. Personally, I like the alpha male vibe.
I want a man who really loves his family.
Definitely someone whose faith is important to them.
For me, it's someone who actually wants to meet my parents.
Why do you want to date a conservative?
For me, at least I know that we're gonna start off with some shared values.
Well, the conservative men I've dated at least know how to treat me like a woman.
In my personal experience, conservative guys have better manners.
I like that they understand their role in the relationship as a man.
I just prefer my men to be masculine.
And what's the biggest red flag when it comes to dating?
A Democrat.
No Democrats.
A Democrat.
Can't be a Democrat.
A Democrat.
That's easy, a Democrat.
No Democrats. It's a no.
Find the right match. Download the right stuff today.
So someone said in the comments that just sounds like an SNL skit or something because it's so ridiculous. It's like playing on every stereotype. So apparently you cannot be a masculine guy if you're not a conservative. And also I do love how they say they want them to be a conservative, know how to be a man, and to be an alpha male. Because as we all know, women just want to be treated like shit. Like, that is the combination they're asking for. Like, an alpha male conservative man, how is he going to view women? Does he think you're an equal person to him? No, he doesn't. So that is hilarious. But as we all know, leftists just drink soy lattes and eat avocado toast. They don't know how to be men. They're not masculine. I totally understand why women wouldn't want to date any leftist men and date alpha male conservative men who will treat them like ladies and be total gentlemen to their parents. And then, as we're going to get into a bit later, treat women absolutely horribly. Now, I'm not saying that left-wing people can't treat women badly. There's tons of, like, you know, left-wing bigotry against women and stuff like that. It's really not unique to conservative men, but I think conservative ideology as a whole is about upholding a status quo where women are fundamentally not seen as equal to men and aren't treated as equal to men. So therefore, when you believe in that sort of ideology, it's pretty likely you're probably going to treat women as a whole worse than a left-wing person would. But like I said, of course, this isn't just like universal. There could be plenty of conservative men who treat women fine and loads of leftist men who treat women like garbage. That does happen. But yeah, basically what these women are saying in this scripted ad is that they want men to treat them like shit. I tried using a VPN, but I couldn't actually get the app or sign up for it. And, you know, even as a guy, I would have paid for premium to get access to all the legions of conservative women who'd be flooding this dating app. But Ginny Hogan on Bustle wrote, I tried the right stuff, the conservative dating app. Now, I didn't actually get on, but I just want to talk about like the sign up for it, which I think is pretty funny. So reviews of the app have noted a few issues. Even if you fill out a profile, you can't actually start swiping until you receive an invitation. People say there are almost no female users. Talk about that in a sec. Oh, and some users have claimed they actually did get calls from the FBI. I don't think this is true, but we'll talk about that a bit later. The Right Stuff currently has an average rating of 2.6 stars in the App Store. It just launched though. I'm sure they'll work out the kink in no time. So each Right Stuff user has free invites, so I needed to find someone who hadn't used all of theirs and then ask them to invite me. I made several pleas to my Instagram and Twitter followers and went so far as to let the app search by phone contacts for users who might be on it. No dice. In hopes of upping my chances of entry, I decided to fill out the profile in the way I thought that would appeal to most users. I have to admit, I'm not technically a conservative, so as such, I needed to get myself into a different mindset to fill out the form. So just going for the pretty generic stuff, you know, asking for your first name, sex, height, things like that. And then it asks you, what are your ideal plans for children? And the options are want kids, open to kids, already have kids and not sure yet. I reread them several times to find the option for don't want kids, which is my truth, but alas, it was absent, so you can't say you don't want children on this conservative dating app. Indeed, the closest thing to it was to say I already have kids, so I'll give that a go. Customize a profile of music. I hadn't heard the first song offered, and the second was by Chris Brown, so I'm going with option 3, God Bless the USA. Then it asks you, favorite liberal lie. So there's nothing funny about liberal lies, and they shouldn't be used to bond two people together. Joe Brand had never been elected to shit. They put in, if loving this is wrong, I don't want to be right. They wrote America. And then this is the really weird question they ask you. January 6th was, and then this person wrote, definitely not an appropriate time to riot if anyone at the FBI happens to be reading this. And then my favorite conservative pundit is, which is bizarre, like questions for a dating app. So within 5 minutes of finishing my profile, I had 8 spam emails from a sex site called Flirty Mature. This could, of course, just be a coincidence. It's been 2 days since I submitted my entry, and I still haven't scored an invite, even though the app is all men. Please invite me to the right stuff. I don't want to go to this wedding alone. So if you guys don't believe the Jan 6th thing is real, here is a picture of it. Again, are you literally trying to out yourself to the FBI? Obviously, people took this even further and made fun of it, writing fake reviews saying, like, the FBI contacted them or they interviewed them. These aren't true. People are saying it's true. It's been reported as truth. It pretty much just looks like people trolling the reviews. But in terms of like legit reviews, I have found some stuff. So here's one that seems pretty legit. Love the idea, not a fan of the invite system. So I love the idea and setup of the app, but the whole reason I wanted to get this app was because I don't know any conservatives in my area. I wanted to get connected to them, but because it's invite only, I cannot use the app. If you make it available to everyone, just have a verification system instead, or have a way for people like me who don't know anybody to get it without an invite. It'd be so much better. Also, I didn't know it was invite only until I downloaded the app. I just heard a new conservative dating app came out, so I wanted to try it out. This person still gave it 4 stars, which seems quite bizarre considering they can't even use it. 2-star review, left on invite. I was excited to try out this new app and love the concept of it, even like the throwback of adding music to your profile like MySpace. However, once completing my profile, I'm stuck on invite mode and it's unclear how to access the app. If you don't know anyone using it, seems like even those who want to use it for the right reasons aren't able to gain access. Pretty disappointed that I'll have to go back to Hinge. So even with passionate conservatives who want to go on this app, they cannot access it because of the invite system, which women have to do as well. Like, you have to invite 3 people if you're a woman, if you want access to free premium. If you're a man, you just got to like pay the upfront fee. Now, this seems to be a problem as well, and I predicted it would be as such. Republican women who work on Capitol Hill are hesitant to sign up for conservative dating app backed by Peter Thiel. So 2 Republican staffers on the Hill who spoke to the Daily Beast said that many who received this message from Ryan McEnany, which said, "Hi, I'm working with John McKenzie's team on an exclusive conservative dating app called The Right Stuff that's expected to launch this summer. We would love to get you on the list for early access to the app." So the 2 staffers ignored this message and privately joked about it in their own circles. One Republican operative, as the Daily Beast described, expressed doubts about the company's strategy of focusing its launch in DC. It's all of Mitch McConnell's staffers, the operative told the outlet. Others shared concerns that it might attract trolls or liberals acting like conservatives. In an email to Insider, co-founder and former director of the White House Presidential Personal Office, McKenzie, wrote that trolling will not be a problem because our initial users are all young conservatives and will only invite other like-minded individuals. Also, it's a dating app, so you can simply unmatch or report anyone that's using the platform in a mean-spirited way. McKenzie also disputed the idea that women were not signing up for the app. The majority of early signups are women, highly doubt, so I don't even understand that point. McKenzie did not immediately respond to a follow-up question on data points that the company may have been showing the numbers of early signups. One Republican staffer also questioned why the app was necessary when other dating apps such as Hinge or Bumble already allow users to filter by political affiliation. You can meet other conservatives on normal dating apps. It's something you can filter for. McKenzie defended the app, saying that right now conservatives are spread out across a lot of different platforms and we need to consolidate that. Not to mention, most are too scared to put conservative on their profile due to the hostility they face. On our platform, everyone can be themselves openly. Too bad that you can't be gay on this platform, considering that Peter Thiel is gay and he's one of the main funders of this. You also can't put your pronouns in the bio either, and you also can't say you don't want children, so I don't really think you can be yourself on this app. So another co-founder of the app was interviewed by Glenn Beck, called Daniel Huff, and he said, you have the antagonism and discrimination against conservatism, not just from the users, but from the platforms itself. No one's ever really tried to make a high-quality, well-funded app with a dedicated team. We want to create a superior product, and we're able to do that by actually adding features that no one else has. Like, honestly, it seems like the right stuff is just destined for the garbage bin of history. I don't think the people involved are going to get rich off it, but I do love the mindset that conservatives are discriminated against by everyone. Not that people hate you because you hold terrible political views that are representative of your personal views, and not that as conservatives now, you're basically mask off far right now, and you just believe absolutely terrible things, and you're putting a question about Jan 6th in your dating app. Why are you putting that in your dating app? Like, is that seriously what every conservative now like wants to talk about when they're having like a romantic dinner or something like that? Maybe they are. Like, I don't know. American conservatives are just totally insane these days. But yeah, this being a big sausage fest, this not being a success, like, you know, a month after it's launched, people not really caring about it, even conservatives, makes a lot of sense to me. Even if the app was absolutely amazing, like it was far better than all the other apps, because it's just so hard to break into the tech space. It's so hard to break into the dating app space. Like many apps, be it social media, be it many other things, they're just dominated by a small group. And once people get attached to these things, and once the user base is pretty large, like it is on Hinge, Bumble, and Tinder, like, why would you move? Like, why would you move to this new conservative dating app? And like I said in my first video, not surprising that it's mostly going to be men. And it also sounds like they made it very difficult for women to join because of them having to invite loads of people. And I'm guessing because people are having problems, they have to accept the invite. And if you don't have people inviting loads of people, then it's clear your user base is pretty small. But I guess they were trying to get people's friends involved and stuff like that. Now, this is not the first conservative dating app. There's been a couple, but there was one called Donald Daters, and I must have probably covered this when it came out in 2018 or something, ages ago. And this failed massively. Now, I think this was destined to fail from the start anyway, because it's not even just conservative, it's about Donald Trump supporters. Like, you literally can't even be like a principled conservative. You have to be an alleged conservative who just loves the president and stuff like that, because we all know nothing bonds people together like their love for a billionaire con man president. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this quick, because this is funny, because this just shows the incompetence of people developing these apps. Because this one didn't even have basic security because it was hacked. But I do love the reason why this was created in the first place by someone called Emily Moreno. So Donald Daters, I think, literally died after this hack, but I just want to read some of this for you. So an interview with News 5, Cleveland, ABC. So Emily Moreno said she launched the app in October saying, I created Donald Daters out of a need. Republicans, and specifically Trump supporters, are pushed out of the mainstream dating scene simply based on who they choose to support for president in 2016. I heard countless stories from my friends about how they either had to censor themselves or lie. Neither makes for the start of a good relationship, by the way, so I figured I could feel bad for them or do something about it. What a hero. Trump supporters want to participate in the regular mainstream dating scene. Politics should be an icebreaker rather than a deal breaker. However, the new left has made it impossible for Trump supporters to go to the Apple Store, out to dinner, and even feel unsafe in their house. What the hell? So this is just such a bizarre way conservatives view politics. It's like, I should believe terrible things about every minority group. I should support an absolutely horrible person for president and support them while they are president, not just voting for them. And I'm entitled to date whoever I want. Like, you should like me. Like, politics is the icebreaker. Isn't that insane? Politics is the icebreaker. Like, we will talk about politics on the first date, but it doesn't really matter because we should have loads of other stuff in common. Like, if you meet a Trump supporter, you start talking about your life, right? Say you have, I don't know, a transgender family member, then the politics isn't going to be an icebreaker. You're literally going to be like, oh, so you automatically hate someone in my family. But again, they just feel entitled to everything. We're entitled to date anyone. Like, just because if we think you're good looking, you like owe us a date. And you should ignore our terrible beliefs. You should just like us for like who we are inside and not for our political positions, which are based on like what? How are politics not representative of your actual beliefs? But of course, this app was destined for failure because it suffered a massive hack immediately when it was launched. So on Monday, Donald Dating received a wave of media coverage from outlets like Fox. It didn't take long for a security researcher to find and expose the app's database. A security researcher discovered the app is exposing user information in an open database, including biographical details such as names and profile photos, but also potentially tokens for logging into people's accounts and private messages. From all appearances, not many people are using the app. One message even reads, "Yes, but I don't see literally anybody on this app. What did I pay for?" Motherboard downloaded and tested the app, which as far as dating apps go is clunky and seemingly barely functional. Despite stating preferences such as looking for women in New York, Motherboard was shown exclusively men who claim to live in other parts of the country. The app allows users to post publicly as well, and there appeared to be only a few posts. Personality questions on users' profiles ask them what they were triggered by, and numerous things throughout the app are misspelled or non-functional. The app also lets users look at 10 people before locking them out and asking them to pay $30 monthly fee. Oh my god, this sounds like the worst app ever. Now, Donald Daters didn't survive long. If you go on Emily Moreno's Twitter profile, which is the only thing I could find about her, she's called Emily Moreno Miller, and she's supporting her husband, who's the Republican nominee for Congress, Ohio's 7th district. And that's pretty much it. Like, there's nothing more about her there. And how hilarious is that? Like, just using that as a case study, we knew the right stuff would fail, but fair enough, apparently the right stuff is fairly functional. This one had spelling mistakes, was barely used, and like I was saying, just had dudes, and just had dudes very, very far away. Like, you couldn't find anyone local because no one was using this app. So Donald Daters, you walked so the right stuff could run, but both of them seem like they haven't done any good business. Might have scammed a couple, I don't know, thousand of people, but I don't think they're going to turn a profit because they're just inherently a bad idea. The people who own these are just trying to make some money quick and capitalize off conservatives allegedly feeling oppressed and marginalized, so they need to seek out their safe space on a culty dating app dedicated to Donald Trump supporters. Again, that's even more bizarre than the conservative dating app. Like, you literally have to be a supporter of one guy. There's a reason things like this don't take off, because at the end of the day, like I said in that advert, women in those adverts can say they want the alpha male, they want a masculine man and stuff like that, but we all know deep down you don't have to be a conservative to be any of those things. And if you are a conservative who is kind of like this, there's a higher chance you're going to be a terrible person and you're going to treat that woman like garbage. And as we're going to get into, it's a recipe for disaster for leftists to give conservative guys primarily a chance. Now, thankfully, a lot of you guys gave me some good comments in my last video, and I thought we should read them out. So these are basically about the experience of dating conservative men. So here's the first one. Olivia saying, "I dated a military-bound Republican. Worst dating mistake I've made. So dumb, he didn't even know that Irish Republicans are not the same as his type of Republican. Thought I was only to please him, and so I dumped his ass when I got out of my stupid I can fix him phase." So like I've been saying throughout this video, you know, conservative men believe in a conservative ideology about the status quo. What are women's role in the status quo? Primarily, you know, they have a very specific gender role, so you want them to stick to it. And if you don't date someone who wants that, then they're not going to like you, as Olivia points out here. So someone else, F. Maggle, "I've been hit on by conservative men a lot. They want me to be part of God's plan, or else they complain about SJWs and all of the bad women out there. Riveting conversation. I've never entertained any notion of dating them. Right-wing views are repugnant. I'd pretty much reject anybody who advocates triangulating to the right too." So Party Woodchuck saying, "A few years ago, I naively tried to date a conservative I met on Tinder. He had a good sense of humor and we had lots of chemistry, so I gave him the benefit of the doubt and we agreed to just not talk about politics. Wouldn't you know, try as he might to hide it, the guy's persecution complex was off the charts. He could not stop talking about how affirmative action had wronged him and identity politics was eroding family values. Obviously, listening to his recycled talking points got old. Hope he enjoys the app." So that's pretty funny. And like I said, a running theme through the people who make these apps is apparently conservatives are persecuted. Conservatives are discriminated against despite owning like most of the levels of power in most Western European countries. And it's only getting worse as well. They think they are discriminated against. And we're probably going to have a Republican Congress, Senate, and presidency soon. and they will still cry about being discriminated against, because they actually did. When the Republicans controlled all levels of power after 2016, they were crying about, white straight Christians being oppressed in America. So yeah, their persecution complex, I don't think it's very attractive to people who aren't conservatives. Someone else, Big Mama, saying, I tried to date a conservative and he tried to force me to be a conservative. He said that sex lowers a woman's value but tried to pressure me into it or he'd leave me. He said he didn't want me hanging out with LGBTQ people, even though I'm bi, but that's not real according to him, anymore, and forced me to read bills out loud to him and explain why I was wrong. I'd never date those demons again. So I'm not going to say that type of thing is exclusive to conservative men, like conservative men being trash. I think that's just like, a male thing generally. I don't think it's, necessarily just conservative men, as I've been saying. But I do think the ideology, and especially the brainwashing in America, makes you see women as lesser than you, therefore you will treat them worse than you treat another man because you don't think they are equal. So that is why it probably is more common with conservative men, especially when your hero are like serial abusers like Donald Trump and all the terrible Republicans. But there's a comment I want to end on, and I really like this because I think it explains why conservative guys feel entitled to any women regardless of their political beliefs. So by Juiced Drazen, or Dryzen, these guys don't take the political views of women seriously, so they're annoyed it's such a deal breaker. They probably think a lot of these girls are not that smart and he deserves at least a date with them to easily convince them of the right way. They also want their girls just to be beautiful and make them laugh, and the fact that they support highly corrupted government officials who have blood in their hands are in favour of restricting women's rights shouldn't stand in the way of a good conversation. You can always not talk and just watch a movie together like Rocky, Terminator or Braveheart. So I think that short comment is really interesting, and I think it's good to conclude on this point, right? Is that because conservatism is so full of just like bigotry against women and believing that men are better than women and smarter than women, patriarchy is a good thing, and Jordan Peterson and their heroes are like defenders of the patriarchy. They don't think women are serious with their political views because women are dumb, right? Women aren't as smart as men, so therefore they might have political views about like peace and love and more left-leaning things, but then they date you, a smart conservative. You will educate them and you will help them understand the reality of politics, and then they will have conservative politics. So I never really thought about that angle, in that a lot of conservative men, it's not always that they don't care about politics enough or see it more as like a football game where they just support a team. They actively think that women are not smart enough to come to their own political conclusions and they have to educate them themselves. And if women would only give them a chance, then they could convince them that conservatism is far better than liberalism or leftism and stuff like that. So I really, really like that point at the end because it made me think about a lot of things in a different way. But to summarize, yes, conservatism as an ideology doesn't lend itself to, I guess, many differences of opinion, doesn't open yourself up to dating people or being compatible with people who are very different from you politically, because at its core, conservatism is about patriarchy and the status quo. And of course, a lot of Republican women uphold that, but then, like I've been saying, those women in the advert talking about alpha male, masculine, stuff like that, on top of being a far-right American conservative, I don't believe that conservative women want to be treated like garbage for the most part, right? I cannot believe that even if you agree politically or you think you agree politically, that you want to be treated like garbage by your potential partner. You want to date a conservative, Trump-loving alpha male. And I think that's why conservative dating apps will always fail, because conservatism is an ideology that promotes men being better than women. So why would women, even if they're conservative, want to subject themselves to legions of guys who believe that? So anyway, that is it for The Right Stuff. I mean, like, literally, I think that is it for The Right Stuff, and that it won't be a success at all, and we're not even going to hear about it again until they say, like, they're closing the app down. But it's also, that is it for my coverage of this dating app, unless something major happens. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and if you made it this far, thank you for watching.